All right, well, Mr. Azure,
Hey.
what makes a successful project?
A successful project always relies on having the right technology to suit your problem.
Yes.
So often find people choose, say, just Azure SQL as the default solution for storing data, when they don't always need them. There's a lot of other solutions out there. There's table storage, Cosmos DB,
There's a coffee place there.
There is a coffee place down there. Hey. So, if people just by default choose what they're always used to, rather than choosing what will actually solve the problem the best way, then you're at risk. You might not have a very successful project at the end. It might be slow. It might cost a lot more money than it should. And that's where we got our cloud architects that come in to sort of at the start of the project. We do a launch audit. We see, do we have the right technologies to suit the problem? And they can work with the client, on a weekly basis, 1 day a week. And as the project gets developed, then scale back maybe once a week or once a fortnight, once a month. And right near the end, we do like a go live audit.
Okay.
And that means we just make sure what we built from the start, or decided at the start, is what we have at the end, and it ticks all the boxes. So it's cheap, it scales, we can then load test it. We can also coordinate some pen testing.
Yes.
And then we help the client through the go live, and even afterwards we can come back and do like a health check. Make sure that everything's still in order and is still doing its job.
Okay. So when the sales guys are talking to the customer, they will typically have a couple of devs, and then they'll say on top of that, we have a person that comes in once a month, once a week, once a fortnight. What's the most common?
I think at the beginning it's sort of once a week for the first month, and then we scale back once a fortnight. Right. Depending on the project.
And so is this an Azure architect or is this a application architect?
This is for cloud products, cloud projects, so we'll get in Azure specialists to do that.
So in the first weeks, what do you do?
So in the first weeks, right at the beginning, we'll work with solution architects to break down the problem, see what sort of data stored, see if we need to add replication, for instance. Once there are scaling requirements, we have to go serverless for tools. And security, we add all of that. So all these services are available to use in Azure. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel and go cloud native. We should be able to just bolt a lot of things together and have a very rock solid system.
So a normal dev, without doing too much thinking, when they're thinking about the .NET core part of it, normal code they're going to write.
That's right.
They might just say, all right, so .NET core, .NET 5, and SQL Server. Then, for example, the Azure architect will come in and help us weekly. What are the first things you start doing?
Come in, look at what they have already. If they've chosen SQL, and I don't think that's the right solution, if it's just very much key value lookup for document store, we'll look at a migration process.
And it's just based on cost or performance or what?
Both. and third thing will be scalability as well. Right? So with SQL Server, it's a bit harder to measure your requirements for throughput or performance. And with Cosmos, it's very easy to measure. So we can actually elastically scale that very quickly, very easily. So we actually only pay for what we need, whereas a SQL solution is a fixed price basically.
So let's just assume storage is sorted out, and what do you do next?
So then we can look at security, we use AD, identity server, there's a few options there.
Okay.
We can look at how's the application hosted itself. We run it on static storage, like on static websites for the Angular or Blazor front end. The .NET Core can run on Azure Functions or app services. That again depends on the performance we need and what sort of scaling requirements the client has. So when that's something that's public and you need a lot of traffic in a very short period of time, you can go with a serverless solution and just burst scale it out very quickly. So we'll take care of a lot of traffic, and when all those people go off the site, and that just scales back down to wild or zero instances. So it basically costs us no money.
Right, okay. So when you've sorted out storage data and security and caching, where does DevOps fit in this?
Oh, so DevOps is everywhere.
Oh, okay.
It's very key to a lot of this process. So we use use DevOps to continually deploy changes to not just infrastructure but the software that lives there as well, and run our tests. And we can run our SpendOps tests to measure our real life performance requirements for, say, customers. But yeah, DevOps is absolutely
So
key
if
to the
the
whole
client
process.
says, look, I don't want to have you once a week, but I'll have you once a fortnight or once a month, are you giving all these tasks to the devs to make sure they're happening? Or
So the architecture will set up at the beginning, and then in the backlog will be the requirements for building ARM templates, and pipelines, and provision information.
Okay. And then what do you do right near the end?
So right near the end, we look at the changes that have happened over time. Yeah, because maybe a decision was made along the way. It changed from maybe went from Cosmos to Mongo for some reason. We'll see if that was the right choice or not, but it will also just monitor how it is running in the end. Does it tick all the same boxes that we need to tick? And we check the cost, we can run our load tests, make sure the performance is acceptable. And yeah, there's quite a few things we can do at the end before we do the go live.
All right, well, that's Will telling us why you need an application architect or an Azure architect, and you want your, it's not all about dev. You want to make sure that along the way you're making all those architectural changes, which are so hard to fix later, aren't they?
Yes, that's right. We don't want to make changes for no reason. They have to be very frequent.
All right, we're heading off for a coffee. We'll see you in the next one.